NBA STRAYA. How you going? How you going? I hope you're all right. You should be. What is that, Jim? Well, it's Friday, December 13th. Whoa, spooky. Friday the 13th. Are you afraid? You shouldn't be. This is NBA STRAYA. I am your host, James Clements. TGIF, am I right? I'd hate to be a 10 in about 45 minutes because I'm going to get deleted. You can see me on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, the AFL Today show, NFL STRAYA, all the good stuff here in Larry Armour Studio, sweating like a priest near a preschool because it's too damn hot and the rent's too high. Fun, weird day today. We've got 3 games to talk out, but mostly they were a bit rubbish. So we'll just fly through the game wraps. That's the knife. Old mate, no mate, Spud on the night, better than Lonzo ball. We'll do the magic tweet of the week. We'll do dickhead of the week. We've got the unpopular opinion of the day. And OUTBACK Takehouse, where we're serving up a flame grilled take. I think it might be from a friend of the program. Chris Anstey sent in a pretty good one. So we'll have a crack at that. But really, for me, it's like the NBA Cup semi-final previews. Then the big weekend preview as well. So we've got a big Saturday ahead. And then on Sunday, we have the semi-finals of the NBA Cup. We'll talk out those 2 games. And then there are a bunch more games on Monday. So we'll get into them. And we'll do a bit of a throwback great moment in NBA STRAYA stat history because I've just gone, hang on a second, I've got to dig these up again. And there's a good one from Luke Longley. Nice. And that'll be fun. So we'll do the picks and previews at the end, and then we'll get out of your hair and we'll go sing some bloody tunes. Oh, yes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1175 of NBA Whiskey. I said it's a 175. 1,175. Whiskey. Good stuff. All right, let's get into it. Let's go.
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA. You're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA STRAYA.
You're listening to NBA STRAYA.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA STRAYA.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shack attack.
You better. I'll tell you what, you better. Especially if you're, I don't know, you better watch out for the shack attack. Too many threes in today's game. There's a 3-point shooting contest. Too many 3-point shooters. It's like, all right, Shaq. In breaking news, player who used to play in the NBA is a bit frustrated with the way the basketball is played nowadays. Oh, geez. News, what is it? Like, water is wet. Jimmy likes tins. Sport at 11. Breaking news. Watch out. Too many threes. Too many threes. All right, Shaq. Yes. No one's ever said that before. It's incredible insight. Let's get into this one today, shall we, with the daily. Oh, it's a whip around. There's a gym. That was a bit. Got to turn that up, I reckon. Do it again. Do it again. Even louder. Come on. Where's the whip crack? Let's do it. Get cracking. That's it. Nailed it. Right. Big Friday. Tell you what. We had the 3 games. So this week has been very, very strange. We had 1 game the other day on the Tuesday. We only had, obviously, the 2 games each of the Wednesday and Thursday because of the NBA Cup. And then today we only had 3 games, all of which were a bit shit. Because these are like the runoffs of the NBA Cup, right? The teams that were basically bounced ASAMP and they could reschedule stuff. So, bit of a weird one. And there wasn't a giant amount of news really popping off today. So, there was like an interesting one where the Athletic did a bit of a survey of all of the GMs essentially and like all the front offices around the league and who they thought were the best. They're like, who are the best front office? Who are the best front offices out there? And they voted like it was an MVP, so 10 points for first, all that sort of stuff. Top 5. And OKC won ahead of Boston, which makes sense. And then ahead of Miami, which is interesting to me. Because Miami are just kind of a bit shit, aren't they? It's, oh, well, there's just heat culture. It's just excellence. It's like, is it really? They made a couple of finals with Jimmy Butler. Well, you make a finals there with Jimmy Butler. You make a couple of, deep playoff runs as well. And you kind of do it with not much. So I guess it makes sense. They draft Bam. They draft Tyler. There goes my hero. They pull off the swindle of Jimmy Butler because the Sixers are morons. And it's a pretty well-run franchise. But at the same time, it sort of seems like they keep just like trying to kick Jimmy Butler to the curb. It's like, we've got Kevin Love. It's like, okay, good on you. Anyway. Speaking of which, the Jimmy Butler trade. So I love this. So I talked about Bernie Lee yesterday. Jimmy's agent going, this is all bullshit. Shams making shit up. Had a crack at him about getting Chat GPT to write his tweets. And when you listen to Shams speak, he's not exactly the world's most eloquent, forthright, amazingly just bang on, coherent thinker. A man after my own heart. But it was fun because Stephen A. Smith sat him down and was like, now, what did you think about what Burnley said? I mean, oh, this is embarrassing.
This is disgusting.
It is. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. And Shams like, I 100% stand by my reporting. It's fully vetted. And as a professional, that's what I do. That's what I get paid to do. Report truthfully and accurately. That's what this is. Period. And you're like, okay. Yes, we all believe you, Shams. We all don't think you're a hack. We'll see what happens there, but it does sort of seem like... I was trying to explain this yesterday. When there's that much smoke, there's obviously fire. And it's just the heat going, well, look, if Jimmy wants to go, we'll kick the tires on it. I think the weird thing for Houston is like, all right, well, not Houston, rather. I've just said that because in my brain, I'm like, Houston sort of still makes the most sense for them because they, like, Miami is sitting there going, draft picks don't really, we've got Tyler Hero, we've got Bam. If we're going to move Jimmy, it's going to be for someone who can help us. One or two players that can sort of make us, you know, perhaps build on what we've already got and get better. It doesn't feel like they're going to go into a rebuilding situation, right? So, bit of a strange one. Anyway, and of course, the refs. I always love a good last 2-minute report. I always love it when they cut to the ref people as well, whether it be in the NFL or the NBA. It's like, all right, can you explain to us now, insert ref here, why these refs are making this decision? Well, it's like, okay, well, this is why they got it right. And the last 2-minute report was like, yep, nah, man, there's nothing wrong in that last 30 seconds of chaos. Except for the one that Jimmy pointed out yesterday and called us out on, that bullshit 5 seconds inbound call, which went very fucking longer than 5 seconds. And the last 2-minute report pointed that out. Podemski took longer than 5 seconds to inbound the ball on the last possession. All other calls were made correct. Okay. Steve Kerr, probably going to get a pretty big fine. They haven't announced that yet, so we'll see what happens when that comes down. But, yeah. I'm still laughing at producer Gerald, like, losing his mind yesterday about the Nicholas Kerr stuff. So good. But I think that's about it. There's no real other news. So, apart from LeBron James. So, yesterday, look, there might be something going on there. Hopefully LeBron's all right. Hopefully his family's all okay. Bronny actually played in Phoenix today. But LeBron's out of the Wolves game tomorrow for the Lakers due to personal reasons again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's all good with him. All right, let's do some game wraps. Game wraps. We had 3 just pretty rubbish games today. Celtics smashed the Pistons 123-99. It was a bit of a slog early, and then Boston just sort of kicked it into gear. So no Tatum and no Jalen Duren. So no Jason Tatum for the Celtics, no Jalen Duren for the Pistons. And as soon as that sort of came out, I'm like, oh, I feel much better about me going with the Celtics this morning on the picks and also yesterday's show. And yeah, they smashed them. Detroit went 7 of 37 from downtown. The Boston Celtics went 20 of 48. Jesus. They nearly tripled the amount of makes of the opposition. They also had 51 rebounds to 43. They deleted them. Cade Cunningham was pretty handy. He had 18, 8, and 8. Jaden Ivey was horrible. 3 of 14 for 10 points. 11 of 14 for Ron Holland. He was really good. But it felt like the Celtics had basically put the cue in the rack at that point. Tobias Harris just out there going, hey, Tobias, we don't have Jalen Duren. Can you help us get this win against the Pistons? He's like, all right, you got it, boss. 9 points on 9 shots. It's like, no, Tobias. That's not what we asked. He's like, 9 points and 9 shots is the best I can do. He's so fucking bad. But without Jalen Duren, like Malik Beasley only played 16 minutes. And yeah, they got cooked. For the Celtics, though, you had the 23-4 from Derek White, who hit 7 threes. That's the exact amount that the Pistons hit as a collective. He went 7 of 12. The Pistons went 7 of 37. 7 of 37 is pretty bloody bad. That's 19% for those playing along at home. Jaylen Brown barely had to do shit as well. He had 14, 9, and 6. The extreme zinger meal.
The extreme zinger meal.
He was up and about, wasn't he? Getting blocks, missing threes, but he was very, very, very handy. 19 and 8 for him. Plus 23. They could just rest Al Horford. Drew Holiday didn't have to do too much. He had 12, 7, and 6. Because Peyton Pritchard, a.k.a. White Jordan, 27 and 10. No fooling. He was unbelievable. Absolutely unstoppable. 7 of 15 from downtown as well. Again, a man who hit as many threes as the opposition. That's a big win and an absolute smashing. Celtics 123, 199. They are now 20 and 5 of Boston, and the Pistons dropped to 10 and 16. Then we went down to Miami, where the Toronto Raptors, without Scotty Barnes, tried to put up a bit of a fight, and they did for a bunch of this. They were up early. They're up 16 early, and then through the second quarter, it got turned around to the point where they were down like a lot. They were down 7 at the half, I think. And you're like, jeez. It's a hell of a turnaround. It's like, yeah, not a good one either. So, bit rough, I'll tell you. The Raps just sort of jumped him early. We're hitting a bunch of shots. And then Butts, he started slowly, did Jimmy Butler. He's got his new orange hair. Just trying to be like his hero, me, Jimmy. Drew Smith was really good, actually. BT Dubs. Off the bench for the Miami Heat. And Tyler, there goes my hero. He did pretty well too. So, Jovic had 11 points in the first half. He hit a 3 right towards the end of that second quarter to put them back up 7. So they were down 16. They end up the half at up 7, which is just insane, 58-51, and then cruised from there. Because Toronto, without Scotty Barnes, just didn't have that like offensive punch. And I think RJ Barrett, he had a triple-double. He had 13, 11, and 10, but he shot 5 of 18. Block. Pretty brutal. And when your starting lineup, Toronto Raptors fans, on this day, the Friday, December 13, this actually scares you when you look at it. It's Grady Dick, sure. He looks like BJ from the Righteous Gemstones, but that's all right. He went 8 of 19 and shot a very special number from downtown. We'll get to that in a second. 22 points for him. RJ Barrett, triple-double, 13, 11, and 10, shot like shit. We get it. You had Okjai Agbaji, sure. He had 13 points, handy. Jonathan Mogbo and Bruno Fernando. It's like Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle didn't start. Bruno did. Then Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle came on. He had 16 and 4 in the end. But yeah, they are just bad. Jacoby Walters with 9. 16, as I mentioned, for Purtle. Davion Mitchell with 12 and 6. But Grady Dick, just 8 of 19 overall. Not quite there. They couldn't quite keep up because bam, Adebayo was unreal. 21, 16, and 5. Bloody hell. 23, 4, and 4 for There Goes My Hero. 11, 5, and 4 for Butts. 14 for Jovic. Terry Rouse had a shocker, 1 of 6 for him. But Drew Smith, 11 points off the bench. Very, very handy. And I like to have a beer with Duncan Robinson, 8 points as well. And away we go. And Hayward's Highsmith, he had, 9 points and 10 shots. But still, that's a big win for the Miami Heat. They kept their arms length in the second half and just, kicked the shit out of them. They didn't cover the 10.5 points because Toronto just decided to hit a stupid 3 at the very end. Thank you very much, Raptors. Brrr. So angry. Octavio Agbaji just, made a shot at the end just to really, Grady Dick, a couple of free throws, up 14. With a minute 50 to go, just nothing else dropped for the Heat, and they're breaking your mate Jimmy's heart. Anyway, Miami now 13 and 10. Toronto 7 and 19. Then we had Sacramento go to New Orleans as 5.5 point favorites. They win at 111-109 because they suck. I was so angry at this Kings team because they just gave up a massive, massive lead late and got absolutely obliterated down the stretch. They hold on desperately to win this. And it was a bit of a back and forth game. It was I think the Pelicans led at the half by 1 point. And then the Kings put the foot down in the third quarter, dropped 38 points on their head. And you're like, this is much more of the Kings we expect. They go into the fourth quarter. They're trashing the Pelicans. They're kicking their ass. They're up 14. And you're laughing. There's I think they're up 14 with, 6.5 minutes to go. You're like, oh, that's good. Let's go. And then they just decided to stop scoring, did the Kings. And you're like, oh, guys, can you not do this? They gave up an and 1 to Eve Missy. DeRozan hit a shot. CJ McCollum then just goes, I'm just going to go out of my head and actually give us a shot in this game. Hits back-to-back threes. Suddenly, it's like a 7-point game. DeRozan scores again. Keegs hits a 3 to answer a DeJounte Murray bucket. It's back up to 10. 3 minutes to go. You should be okay. And then they just go, we're only going to score 2 points the rest of the way, Jim. I'm like, can you not do that? And they gave up 10 and just put the absolute scare out of everybody. It comes all the way down to the point where they completely cook basically the last minute and a half of this to the Kings and nearly fucking shoot themselves in the foot and lose the game. DeRozan misses a shot. CJ misses a shot. Suva, he gets it. We're feeling good. You're up 2. DeRozan misses another shot. Malik Monk then somehow just gets his arm in DeJounte Murray's way, and DeJounte Murray goes full James Harden and completely cooked the last spot at the last moment of the game, right? He's like doing a bit of a dance on the perimeter. He's like, hey, we're down 2. There's like 13 seconds left. Let's go. Oh, he's flopped into Malik Monk. Malik Monk's elbow seemingly gets all ball. And the game's over. It was a cacophony of shitness, really, from this game. Wow. Do the Kings frustrate me? Like, the Pelicans are bad, but the Kings, that was almost inexcusable. Anyway, for the Pelicans, they were much more like the Pelicans today outside of CJ, DeJounte, and Trey Murphy. So CJ McCollum, as I mentioned, hits those threes late. He was awesome. 36, 3, and 3. Went 6 of 11 from deep. 20 for DeJounte Murray, but he shot 8 of 19. And I don't know if he's, that dude. He had 9 assists. He had 8 turnovers. It was brutal. Trey Murphy had 21. He went 3 and 9 from deep as well, but they had absolutely nothing from anybody else. Eves Missy had the 7 and 11. Herb Jones, 7, 7, and 4, but he shot 7, 7, 4. ABC Radio. There you go. 3 of 10 from the floor from him. They were just bad. 14 and 37 from downtown. They had 17 turnovers to 11. I think they were just lucky that the Kings couldn't hit a 3. Like, DeMar hit all 3 of his threes, and it felt like no one else could do anything. Kevin Huerta went 1 of 8. He had 0 of 3 from Keon Ellis, 1 of 5 from Monk, 1 of 6 from De'Aaron Fox. If Fox and Monk are going to go 2 of 11 from downtown, and you're going to still win this, like, it's just ridiculous. So, anyway, for the Kings, this was the Souvlaki King show, wasn't it? 32 and 20. 32 and 20! Bloody hell. 3 assists, 2 steals, crushed. He shot 11 and 15 from the floor. Love me some Souvlaki King Domantas Sabonis. 29, 4, 2 and 4 steals with 3 made threes from DeMar DeRozan there. 18 each from Murray and Fox. Malik Monk had a Barry Crocker shotgun, so did Kevin Huerta. So Monk goes 2 of 11, and Huerta goes 2 of 10. Yeesh. And they shot under 40% from the floor to the Kings, and they still put up 111 and still beat the Pelicans. So good stuff, everybody. 13 and 13 for the Kings. They've now won 3 on the trot. That's good. And the Pals are 5 and 21. Let's do an NBA Australia approved performance of the night, shall we? Yes. Why don't we? Let's do it.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
The Souvlaki King, Domantas Sabonis, 32, 20, and 3 with 2 steals, 11, 15 from the floor. He was awesome. And bam, Bam Adebayo. What a game from him. He was so bloody good. The 21, 16, and 5, 8 of 17 from the floor. Just controlled that game against the Raptors. And I mean, look, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. I kind of want to give it to Pritchard, but he's going to pop up again in a second. So just pump your brakes there, Boston fans. He was absolutely gnarly. What did he have? 27 and 10. Just absolute 27 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 15 from the floor. Weapon. Not bad. How about a bit of old mate? No, Spud of the night.
Spud. Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. We had plenty of spuds today. As I mentioned, Huerta and Malik Monk absolutely stunk the joint up between the two of them. Just real gross gear, wasn't it? What was it? 2 of 11 for Malik Monk, 2 of 10 for Huerta. Jaden Ivey, 3 of 14. RJ Barrett, 5 of 18. 3 of 10 for Hayward Highsmith and 3 of 10 for Herb Jones as well. Kelly Olynyk, the Hoosier, he went 0 of 6 though. Eesh. And Terry Rose went 1 of 6 from downtown as well. It was Spud night in the NBA. But I would very much like to thank our man, the legend himself, BJ from the Righteous Gemstones. That's right, Grady Dick. What did he go and shoot from downtown? Oh, let me just check. Oh, that's right. Woo! Chill. Yeah, Grady Dick shot 311. You little ripper. All right, who's old mate? No mates.
Old mate, no mate.
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 Who's got no mates today? Kevin Durant. But Jim, he's injured. What are you talking about Kevin Durant for? I don't know. He was on the internet. And we all know how Kevin Durant loves the internet. The most thin-skinned, insecure, funniest internet-using superstar we have in the NBA. I've accepted most people will die haters. Yes. We all hate you, Kevin Durant. I tend to think people's assessment of my journey comes from an emotional place more than a truthful place. Okay. Does it? I think the truthful place of like assessing Kevin Durant's journey is like, yeah, all-time talent who couldn't win by himself glommed on to a fucking 73-win team that beat his team in the playoffs the year before to get 2 cheap rings and never achieved anything else outside of that. I think that's a pretty truthful assessment there, Kevin. Like, he's a fascinating thing because it seems like he doesn't ever have known, has never have known exactly what he wants, right? It seemed like he wanted to just like, once I win, everything will be fine, right? He goes to Golden State, they win, he's awesome, wins and finals MVPs, he's absolutely unstoppable. It's like, I want to fucking win and I want to play the best basketball possible. It's like, he did that. And then he's like, but now I also want to do it by myself and like get all the credit. But also I don't want to deal with the shit. We're going to Brooklyn. And then that goes out. He's like, oh, I want to be on a really good team again and not have to have any responsibility. We're going to Phoenix. And it's like, oh, we're all a bit shit. And you're like, yeah, you've kind of fucking cooked this, Kevin. And he's going to be fascinating to talk about in the years to come. Because I enjoy talking about, obviously, legacy and stuff like that for players. And Kevin Durant is an absolutely fascinating case. How we're going to look back at him in 5, 10, 15, 20 years' time. But also just fucking right now, right? Because we have so much in the rear view because he's been around a long time. Was that 07 draft? And you can go, look, that OKC thing, he was beloved. He was a god in OKC. And he decided to go, fuck that, I need to go win. Which is fine. He goes to win. He's like, well, now I've won, but people seem to not love me as much as Steph. I'm going to go win by myself. And then he never won. He's like, yeah, here we are. It's very weird. It definitely feels like he's got no mates, right? Like, if you had a mate like this, you'd sit him down over a couple of tins and go, bud, fucking can you just chill? Like, dude, you're fucking smashing it. Like, it's okay, bro. Like, just fucking chill. And he's like, nah, I've got to go argue with 15-year-olds on Twitter. Pants in the night was Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle, who got dunked on by his own teammate. Okjag Baji just goes, whoppang! And Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle didn't have enough time to get out of the road, so he got fucking hammered on. I love a good teammate yamming. Like, if you got a yam on a teammate, just, whoa, jeez, it was brutal. So yeah, sucked in Teenage Mutant Yucca Purtle. How about a bit of better than Bronny James?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. That would be Pritch better have my money. 27, 4 and 10 for Peyton Pritchard, 10 and 20 from the floor, 7 of 15 from 3. Better than Lonzo Ball and Bronny James, even though Bronny, I think, had 30 points in the G League. It's like, yeah, that's the G League. It's not as good as the NBA, is it, Bronny? But also, Okja Agbaji. I just want to give a little bit of shine to Okja Agbaji. Up there, toiling away for the Raptors. He's been pretty solid at times. He was 6 of 8 from the floor today, 1 of 3 from downtown. Had that sick yam. I mean, he's only 24. This is the guy who sort of got thrown into a couple of different trades here and there, and has like these flashes for the Raptors every so often. He had the 24-6 against the Pelicans a couple of weeks ago, 13 against Indy the other day. He had a rough couple of games there in their loss in this 4-game losing streak, but he's just got a little pop. And I've got a bit of time for Octavio Budgie. Just saying. Oh, do you, Jim? Well, yeah, it's my show. I get to fucking say what I want. It's the fun part of having your own show, you see. You can't tell me shit. All right, let's do everyone's favorite one. It's time for the Magic Tweet of the Week. Huge thank you to my business partner, Kyle Bell, for the incredible gift of custom-made Air Force Ones to celebrate our World Series champion Dodgers. I love that the show features both our 2020 and 2024 titles. I can't even wear these. They're going straight to my trophy case. Fire emoji. Thanks, Magic. I'm just sad that we don't have like the game-to-game updates from Magic. Like, how do we not have a ChatGPT Magic bot that just does Magic Johnson tweets all the time of just game raps for the Lakers as Magic? That makes me angry. I mean, not really that angry. I'm just a bit disappointed, just like my parents. All right, Dickhead of the Week.
Dickhead of the Week.
Draymond going, LeBron, hope everything's okay. I'm trying to call you. Please pick up. I can't sleep. Also, as I mentioned on yesterday's show, him trying to figure out if Alperen Şengün was like European. He's like, how much should I try to fuck him up? And he's like, Turkey, it straddles the line of Europe and Asia. Like, he's just in his head, he's like, oh, Turkey is, don't know if it's European. So, and he did some fuckheady things as well against Alpi. Rockets fans will know what I'm talking about. And yeah, Draymond's always just going to be the Draymond Green Memorial Dickhead of the Week award winner until proven otherwise. And Kevin Durant having a song go, yeah, everyone's just fucking haters, man. Most people are haters, man. You're assessing my journey from an emotional point, not a truthful place. It's like, are we? Are we, Kevin? Are we? Maybe I'm the Dickhead of the Week. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Daryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do a quick little couple of yeah-nahs. I had a really good one thrown up the other day. Is Luka a better player than SGA? Yeah, nah. I mean, he's got better counting stats. But, and he's gone further in the playoffs, which is fine, you know. He's made a finals last year. What I love most about SGA is that there's no drop-off. Like, it's just fucking constant excellence. And he tries on defense, and he's good defensively, and we know that. And that means that his team has so few fucking holes. Whereas Luka, when he's off the ball on offense, he's just loafing around, standing in the corner with his fucking hands on his hips, on his knees, trying to get his breath, watching Kyrie go to work. And defensively, he's fucking horrible. Just watch Luka sometimes, defensively. And I feel like, yeah, Luka might have more insane basketball talent in his body but I feel like SGA might be more conducive to winning, if that makes sense. I don't know, but we'll probably find out through this playoff run. But it was a really interesting one, so let me know what you reckon. Is Luka better than SGA? Is LeBron taking time off for personal reasons a worry if you're a Lakers fan? Yeah, nah. I mean, yeah, you're like probably fucked without him. By the same token, though, there are some pretty amazing on-off stats where you go, oh, defensively they're fucked because LeBron does not try. Huh. Which is pretty good. Love that. But I just hope everything's all right. Because personal reasons is never fun to be missing games. So hopefully it's all right. The real yeah nah is he doing it to put pressure on the Lakers front office? Yeah nah. Ooh, you know he probably is. Yeah. But it's probably for real as well. Right. What else we got? I think there was a good one in there. Oh, yeah. Simply, do you think Jimmy Butler can help you win a title this year? This was like one that got thrown at me yesterday after I did the, there's only 2 teams that I think he can actually push towards actual title contention. And that was what? Milwaukee and the Warriors. And you're like, yeah, that checks out. And then someone brought up Denver. And I'm like, fucking yes. Holy shit. The problem is they'd probably have to give up Michael Porter Jr. And like, if you ask me, I don't mind that. You really want to maximize Jokic. But I did get a good one for the Outback Takehouse. We're going to go to unpopular opinion of the day first, I guess. Let's do it.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
So the thing that I said about Shaq earlier on his podcast is like, this game we're playing now, it's fucking terrible. Everyone's doing the same thing. And then Lefko pipes up, I saw Lakers Suns and there were 7 straight possessions of threes. We've lost the competition. There's no competition when it's a 3. It's a contest. It's like, My unpopular opinion is, I reckon you should stop whinging. I think there are some tweaks we should be making. Because I do sort of feel like when you've got Peyton Pritchard hitting 7 threes as much as the entire Pistons team, and Derek White doing the exact same thing, it does sort of get a bit fucking weird. But my vibe is the talent on display in the NBA right now is better than it's ever been. We just need to figure out the exact ways to properly harness that into being very, very competitive. And people are like, oh, I miss post play. It's like, do you? Do you really? What I'd rather see is more varied types of plays. And like when people go all out, like offense is kind of fun. I'd also like to see a couple of just fucking grit and grind, drag them into the mud, knock them down defensive teams, right? And we kind of have that. And teams like Houston and OKC are like these incredible balancing acts of exactly that. And that's why they're so fucking good. So I think people just love having a fucking whinge. And I think today's game is absolutely unreal. It's like, you know, I watch obviously a fuck ton of basketball. Do you, Jim? Yes. But NBA, there are moments in the NBL when there's obviously the talent gap between it and the NBA, and they sort of start launching threes, and you're like, oh, I just don't know if that was a good shot. And then it sort of gets a bit fucky. But the NBA, the talent level is so fucking high for these three-point shooters that usually those three-point shooters and those people taking those threes are like well within their rights probably too. It's when you have the sort of shitter three-point shooters always taking the threes, you're like, oh, yeah, this is fucky. So, I don't know. I feel like some tweaks around the edges, we could fix this. Anyway, Outback Takehouse. I think we'll just get Anstey's trade proposition that he sent through, which is pretty good. Let's do it. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah, 4-for-1 oil drum cans full of icy cold Foster's Lager. That's right. It's Australian for beer. Again. Because now they sell it here. Again. So we're going to get into some icy cold Foster's Lager. Only at Outback. Even if it does taste like horse piss. It's not your dad's Foster's, I'll tell you. And today's Flame Grilled Take is courtesy of friend of the program, Chris Anstey, who sent through the following trade proposal. I just want to get Dyson. Dyson next to Butler would be cool. So he's proposed Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter in exchange for Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson. The trade works, I reckon. What do we say? Yeah, nah. Actually, don't mind this. Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter for Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson. So the salaries basically match up at 64 coming in for the Heat and 68 coming in for the Hawks. Wow. Miami will get substantially better. Duncan Robinson gives Atlanta even more shooting. You can free up more Jalen Johnson. Dyson can use the ball a little bit more. Chris then did go on to say 5 pints in, and I still like the trade. That's good. He reckons neither team's going to win as is. So, hopefully Chris doesn't mind me actually reading that one out. He sent it to me earlier, so that was pretty good. There we go. That's a good one. Jimmy Butler on Atlanta. That'd be fun as shit. Just imagine that. You got the size of Onyeka Okongwu and Clint Capela backing up Jimmy Butler next to Jalen Johnson. You've got Bogdan, you've got Dyson, you've got Butts. DeAndre Hunter has been that good though, that it almost feels like you're throwing almost too much in to go and get Jimmy Butler if you're going to give up Trey and Hunter. But anyway. All right, no Australian player watch today because we didn't have any of the Aussies playing, did we? Because there's no one on the Celtics or Pistons or Raptors or Heat or Kings or Pels. It's a bit of a sad one. But let's do a great moment in NBA Australia stat history and cast our minds back. So I believe 1992. Jeez.
Great moments in NBA Australia stat history.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. So this is a bit of a combination. Luke Longley, Role Player of the Week, and Great Moment in NBA Australia stat history because it is about Luke Longley. That's right. Luke Longley up against Hakeem Olajuwon. That's right. I think it was... Oh, Jesus. What do I want to say? That's what, that 22 years ago? Bloody hell. No, 32 years ago. Shit. I am so old. Woo! Luke Longley went into bat up against Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. That's right. So, what was that? 32 years ago today. A young Lucian Luke Longley. Then in his second year for the Minnesota Timberwolves, started only his 10th ever NBA game and faced, and in his prime, Hakeem Olajuwon. That's right. The Dream. Facing up the big Lucian. That's right. He's going to go reverse Kanga the opposition dunnies after the game is done. And Lucian held his own, actually, up against Big Hakeem. He went 5 of 10 from the floor for his 10 points. He had 5 rebounds and 3 blocks in only 29 minutes. The Wolves did get their heads kicked in by the Rockets because Hakeem Olajuwon, he put up 29, 5, 3, and 3. But, you know, that's because he was fucking Hakeem Olajuwon. So, there you go. If you want to cast your minds all the way back to that one, that is just a really, really long time ago. Do we want to find out who else was on those teams at that point? Because talk about a fun little casting your mind back. Trip down memory lane, if you will. Of the 1992-1993 season when he was, you know, so this is before he obviously gets traded to the Bulls. It's Wolves Rockets. He starts up against Kenny the Jet Smith, Robert Horry, Vernon Mad Max Maxwell, Otis Thorpe. Amazing. And obviously Hakeem. What a team that was. Obviously they're going to win the title the next year, right? 92, 93. Yeah, 93, 94. Playing next to him on the Wolves, next to Big Lucian, were Christian Laettner, Doug West, Michael Williams, and Chuck Person. On the bench, Big Thurl Bailey. How good is that? Lance Blanks. Nice. Brad Sellers. Very funny gear. And I'll tell you what, if you want to know how much the NBA has changed, the 3 points attempted by the Houston Rockets, they went 3 of 5 from downtown in that game. Vernon Maxwell hit one, Kenny the Jet Smith hit one, and Mark Akers hit one. And the Wolves went 1 of 8. Chuck Person was the only one who hit one. He went 1 of 5. That is unreal. What a little time capsule. That is a great moment in NBA Australia stat history. All right, let's do a Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's see what he's been up to as Patty. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is when he's like buying groceries for folks for Christmas. What an absolute legend. He does look very cool. So that's on his stories there. Great job there, Patty. What a legend. All right, let's do some game previews for a big weekend of hoops. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, yeah, not bad. I'm going to go see Dear Seattle at the Oldie tonight. That's going to be awesome. I fucking love Dear Seattle. What a band. Oh, their album is coming out in a couple of weeks. Mid-Jan, I think. But yeah, I fucking love Dear Seattle. What do we got? Where are the games? Right. On Saturday, we have Cleveland hosting Washington. They are 17.5-point favorites. The Cleveland Cavaliers. That is a lot of points. But the Cavs are really good. And Washington, So Washington just turned around and beat Denver, of course, which is just silly. But 17.5, they also got their heads kicked in like a day later or whatever by the Grizzlies to the tune of 28 points. So I think I'm going to go the Cavs at home, 17.5 point favorites, just because that's how bad this Wizards team is. Indy at Philly. Now, this one's a little bit more interesting, obviously, because you have maybe a fully armed and operational Joel Embiid, perhaps, question mark, with Paul George, with Maxey, with Jared McCain. They were really good together last time we saw them. They are 6.5 point favorites at home of Philly against Indy, who are defensively bereft and can't score. I'm going to go Philly. Like, Miles Turner up against Joel Embiid. He's going to have a massive game, Miles Turner, but he's definitely looked off his feed all year. Benny Mathurin is like, hey, I'm a superstar. And everyone's like, can you play in our like team situation? He's like, not on your fucking life, mate. Thanks, Benny Mathurin. So we're going to go Philly minus 6.5. Lakers, the Lakers. They go to Minnesota. They are 8.5 point underdogs in the land of a million lakes, 1,000 lakes, whatever. That's where they were originally from, don't forget. That's why they're called the Lakers, the Minneapolis Lakers. Minnesota, the Timberwolves in the Twin Cities there. The Wolves are 8.5 point favorites at home against the Lakers. You know that Julius Randle's going to go absolutely ham against one of his old teams. Ant-Man is going to love this. And Rudy Gobert up against AD. AD's like their only weapon at this point. Their defense is obviously, as I mentioned though, hilariously better without LeBron. But against a Wolves team that's nice and rested, I think the Wolves should stomp them. So we're going to go the Wolves minus 8.5. Memphis host Brooklyn. Now, these two teams have played a couple of a weird fucky game already, I think. From memory. The Nets might have beaten them at home, perhaps, I want to say. Yeah, they beat them 106-104 a little bit earlier in the season. The Nets had that weird game against Indy last week that they won, and then played really, really tough up against Milwaukee last week too. I'm going to go with Brooklyn to cover that 10.5. They've just got kind of enough dudes. Schroeder versus Jar should be really good. Memphis will be better having a little bit of an extra rest. Jar, Desmond, Bane, as long as Bane is back, Triple J, they should be okay. Memphis should win, but Brooklyn should cover that 10.5. Chicago host Charlotte. No defense here, Chop. No defense here. Chicago are 5.5 point favorites. That feels a bit low against a Charlotte team that has like nobody, right? So we're going to have to go Chicago, despite them not playing any defense whatsoever. Let's go the Bulls. Then we have Clippers at Denver, which is very interesting and a really interesting setup for the simple fact that the Clippers have beaten Denver, their longtime bogey team. 126-122 last week. That was at home. This time they go to Denver. You know that Jamal Murray, he'll have a fire lit under his ass. I think Denver can win this. I think it might be a bit close though, so I might. But the Clippers have also had these weird games where they just look really, really wobbly. They got their heads kicked in by the Wolves and then the Rockets the last two games. So maybe we'll go Denver minus 6.5. Yeah, I don't like that one, but there we go. Phoenix at Utah. Utah are 6.5 point underdogs at home without Kevin Durant. What are the Phoenix Suns? Oh, that's right. Shit. 1-9. We're going to go Utah plus 6.5. They might still lose. Utah can still put up a bit of a fight. San Antonio go to Portland. The Blazers have just been absolutely horrible over the last little bit. It's very frustrating because you can sort of see the outline of a good team in Portland. They have now lost, what is that? Lost 6 of their last 7 games. In there, they won that stupid Kings game. They lost to the Lakers. Well, got smashed by the Jazz before that, remember? Lost by 40. Yeah, I can't go Portland, even at home. We're going to go San Antonio. Right, then it is the big two. That's right, we're going to Vegas, baby! What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay. You having sex with a hooker. I guess that should stay in Vegas. New Orleans. Sunday, the NBA Cup semis. We've got Atlanta at Milwaukee. I love this. This is going to be fun because Atlanta, all they do is beat good teams and then like randomly lose to shit ones. I mean, they did lose to the Nuggets pretty badly last week, but they just beat the Knicks. Trae Young goes into MSG. The Bucks don't have any home court advantage because this is in a neutral site in Vegas. The Hawks, they're telling you who they are. They're pretty fucking good. They've beaten the Cavs. So they're last little bit, they've won, 7 of their last 8. They beat the Cavs back-to-back. They smashed, well, they got by the Hornets. They beat the Pelicans. They beat this fucking Bucks team by 15 points in Milwaukee like last week. Turned around, beat the Lakers, lost to the Nuggets, beat the Knicks. The Hawks are good. I'm taking the Hawks plus 3.5. Just think about this. You've got Dyson, the Great Barrier Thief Daniels, up against Dame Lillard. Dame's just going to be like, what did I do to deserve this? It's like, you know what you did, Dame. You know what you did. Giannis trying to run rampant against the size of that Atlanta Hawks team. Good fucking luck. He'll probably put up his numbers. He always does. I'm just going to take the points from Atlanta, plus 3.5, because even if they lose, I feel like they can push this all the way up against the Bucks. They beat them by 15, like last week. Let's go Atlanta. They are flying. They're basically the same as last year's Indy team, right? Like, they're just, you didn't believe it, even though they kept saying, hey, we're fucking good and we're absolutely built for this. It's Atlanta are that team this year. We're going Atlanta plus 3.5. And then Houston versus OKC. How good is this game? I talked this one out on yesterday's show a little bit, talking about how Houston's defense is so surprisingly excellent, but then so is fucking OKC. So when you talk about defenses in the NBA right now, you're like, well, it's not like this sort of prototypical, I guess, just the fucking knock down, drag them out, kick their ass and make them hurt kind of defenses, right? It's OKC ranked 1 and Houston ranked 2. This game should be fucking awesome. We're going to go the unders as well, I reckon. But OKC is favorited by 6.5. I can't conscionably go with that. I've got to go Houston plus 6.5 because you think about Şengün, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, obviously the Terra Twins in Tari Eason and your man Amen Thompson. So OKC, if you can just sort of slow down SGA, you've still got J-Dub. You've got Caruso putting on a Caruso show, maybe. You've got Hartenstein, up against Şengün. It's really evenly matched. I'm going to take Houston plus 6.5. I think both these defenses are really good. We've seen Houston have some squirrely fucking games where they just completely lose their minds and get their heads kicked in. Ime Udoka is going to have them fucking prepped, ready for this. I like the 6.5. I'm taking Houston plus 6.5. This game should be awesome. OKC could easily win this, and I think it's by maybe by 4 if they do. But I think Houston make them work. So we're going to take Houston plus 6.5 in OKC. It's weird because, it's a neutral site. So there's no home court advantage here. So we're going to go both the underdogs for the NBA Cup semifinals. Nice. And then on Monday, while the football's going on, your mate Jim will be watching a million things at once. New Orleans go to Indy. Indy should be too good. But that is it's a sneaky okay matchup because you've got CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray in that New Orleans backcourt. It's going to be a lot of the rest of the guys on Indy having to put the hurt on them. I think the Pacers still win that, though. Boston go to Washington. Extreme Zinger Meal is going to go absolutely off. It'll be a supercharged Zinger Burger. We're going Boston, obviously. The New York Knickerbockers of New York City go to Orlando. These two teams, obviously, just got knocked out of the NBA Cup. I'm going to go the Knicks. I don't really want to go the Knicks because when I talk about teams trying to show you who they are, the Knicks have kind of been doing that and losing games like the Pistons and being beaten by the Hawks the other day. But Orlando, I think that awesome game that they played against Milwaukee where Jalen Suggs is off his head, that very much felt like we've got to fucking give it our all. We don't have Franz and we don't have Paolo. Oh, God. And this might be the come down. There is an interesting stat, though, that the people who have played the most minutes basically since November, the last 20 games, right? It's Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, and basically all the Knicks. And you're like, Tibbs is undefeated. He fucking, I only want to play 6 guys. It's like, dude, it's fucking December. Settle down. Anyway, we're going the Knicks in Orlando. Minnesota at San Antonio. Again, a very interesting game. I kind of like the Spurs. Rudy up against, you know that Wemby is going to look at this and go, I hate Rudy Gobert so much, I want to towel him up. I like the Spurs. We're going the Spurs. Phoenix host Portland. Even though the Suns are a bit shit, I think they're still better than this horrible Portland team. Devin Booker versus Anthony Penny-Simons. That'll be fun. Go the Suns. Dallas Golden State, though. How good is that game? So this is the other losers out of the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup going head-to-head. I like Dallas in this one. I think if they get PJ Hamilton, Washington back, the way the Warriors completely dismantled themselves yesterday and fell apart, that's the sort of game where you go, ooh, how do you bounce back from that? And Dallas, I think, look, Kyrie, Luka, the Mavs' size on the perimeter will be a little bit too much for this Golden State team. So I'm going to go the Mavs. And then Memphis go to take on the LA Lakers. I like Memphis regardless of LeBron playing. So we're just going to go the Grizz. I think they just play fucking super tough. They're super big when they can go out there with Triple J and Jar and everybody. And I kind of like them against the Lakers. So we'll go the Grizz in that one. And that's going to be a fun weekend of basketball. Is it not? Yes, it is, Jim. You goddamn right it is. And that is it for us for today, for this week. Another NBA Australia week in the bag. Tell you what, as I mentioned, hate to be a tin in about 5 minutes' time. So I'm going to go smash a few tins in the sunshine. All right. But turn off that music. There we go. That's it for today. That's it for this week. Make sure you're following NBA Australia across all the socials, though. Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Get around the YouTube. You can watch this one on there. We'll get it up every show is up there, I think, now. We've got other little bits and bobs there too. Get around NFL Australia, obviously with myself and Gaz. Got the power rankings that go up too. Oh yeah, the power rankings for NBA go up across all those as well. So go check them out. Get around all the other shows. Cricket Today podcast. The boys have been absolutely smashing it with BBL starting this weekend as well as the third test at the Gabba tomorrow. So if you're not all over your Cricket Today podcast, Cricket Today show gear, what are you doing? Football Today podcast as well for your soccer. Hold all tickets for your GGs and the AFL stuff, but that's on hiatus at the moment, so it's all good. Check us a rating and review on your Apple Podcasts, your Spotify, YouTube Music, whatever app you use on your Android phone. Look, rate, review, star it. Look, that can be my Christmas present from you guys. If you haven't started it, if you haven't reviewed it, haven't rated it, haven't shared it, just do something with it. Like, as I said, grab your partner's phone, grab the missus's phone, grab your bloke's phone, whatever you got to do. Grab your mum's phone, subscribe to NBA Australia. It'd be a nice little Chrissy bump for Jim. Thanks, guys. Big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Go check out House Hats as well. As Joshua Delarentis, Fascinator, Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sextra, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Australia supports Australian bands, so should you. Oh, and the other thing is, if you want to follow along with the NBA Australia picks that we do each week, or each day, get around it. There's a link that you can see in the morning post that has like the codes NBA Australia. There's a link in this show description as well that'll take you to Dabble. You can follow along my profile and just, if you want to jump on the picks, go nuts. If you don't, that's fucking fine. You're a grown-up. It's all good. All right. Good stuff, though. That was a fun week. What a good NBA Cup week it was. Can't wait for these semis on Sunday. Jeez. It's going to be absolutely nuts. Oh, and I'll be at the the Throwdown. Phoenix versus United on Sunday. So if you're going to the basketball, come say good day. Be there with the squid. All right. Have a great weekend, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let us